When you wake up in the morning, before the world starts screaming at you, before your phone starts buzzing, before your mind gets pulled into the million little distractions waiting to grab your attention, you've got to take a moment and tell yourself who you are. Because if you don't decide your identity, someone else will. The job will decide it. The bills will decide it. The fear will. The past will try to label you, and the pressure of the present will try to define you. But the truth is, your identity determines your destiny. See, it's not just about getting up and grinding. Anybody can grind, but when you grind without identity, you hustle from a place of insecurity. You wake up chasing things that were never meant to define you, just to try to feel worthy, just to feel like you matter. That's not freedom. That's bondage dressed up as ambition. But when you wake up and remind yourself of who you really are, the game changes. You wake up and say, I am a king, I am a queen, I am a solution walking. I'm not here to take up space, I'm here to take territory. You speak that into your spirit because your mind needs instruction before it starts making decisions. And here's the truth. Your subconscious doesn't argue with you, it just obeys. If you keep telling yourself you're overwhelmed, you'll find reasons to be over. If you tell yourself you're broke, your brain will filter the world through scarcity. But if you say, I am wealthy, I am valuable, I am favored, I mean called, your mind will go to work finding evidence to support it. This isn't hype, this is how transformation happens. Because every action flows out of identity. You want to change your life, change your language. You want to change your habits, change what you call yourself. You can't keep calling yourself lazy and expect to walk in excellence. You can't keep calling yourself broke and expect to attract wealth. You can't keep saying, I'm just trying to get by and expect to rise up and take dominion. There's no room for dominion in survival talk. Every morning, you've got to affirm that you are not what happened to you. You are not your mistakes. You are not your bank account. You are not your background. You are not the labels other people placed on you when they didn't understand your purpose. You are a chosen one. You are anointed for business. You are a steward of divine ideas. You are the head and not the tail. You are above only and never beneath. You are a builder, not just a dreamer. You are a creator, not a consumer. You are royalty, and royalty doesn't beg, it builds. That's what you have to tell yourself before the doubt creeps in, before the anxiety tries to take over, before the insecurity whispers that you're not enough. You wake up and talk back to the fear. You remind it that you were made in the image of a creator, and creators create. You're reminded that you weren't placed here just to work a job, pay bills, and die. You were sent here to solve problems, to bring light, to dominate, to multiply. If you don't wake up and claim your identity, life will push you into an identity of reaction. You'll react to problems, react to people, react to pressure. Every time you react, instead of respond, you give up control of your narrative. That's how people live 20, 30, 40 years stuck in cycles because they never paused long enough to declare, this is who I am, and this is what I will not settle for. And let me tell you something. When you align your mouth with your mission, your mind starts to rewire itself for results. You walk different. You talk different. You don't chase money, you attract it. You don't look for opportunities, opportunities find you. Because you're not moving from desperation. You're moving from identity. Every morning you must speak like your future depends on it, because it does. Speak life over yourself. Speak destiny over yourself. Speak wealth over yourself. Speak discipline over yourself. Speak dominion over yourself. Remind yourself that you are not a mistake. You are a move of God. You are not random. You are strategic. You are not an accident. You are an answer. And when you believe that, when you embody that, everything around you has no choice but to adjust. Say this out loud every single day until the world catches up to the reality of what you've already decided. I know who I am. Every single morning when you open your eyes, you got a choice to make. Will you live by pressure or will you live by purpose? Because both are coming for you. The pressure is going to knock at your door whether you invite it or not. The pressure of bills, the pressure of expectations, the pressure of opinions, the pressure of your past mistakes, and the pressure of future uncertainty. It's loud, it's aggressive, and it's always, but hear me, pressure is not purpose. And this is why you've got to train yourself to speak with intentionality. First thing in the morning, before your feet hit the floor, you need to center yourself in something deeper than deadlines. You need to remind yourself, I live on purpose, with purpose, for a purpose. Because if you don't declare that, your day will get hijacked by distractions dressed up like responsibilities. See, purpose doesn't shout, purpose whispers. And it whispers to the disciplined, it whispers to the intentional, it whispers to the ones who are not just reacting to life, but creating it. When you wake up and choose purpose, you give your energy a destination. You stop running in circles and start moving with clarity. You stop saying yes to everything and start saying yes to the right things. Because when purpose is clear, decisions become easy. You've got to understand something. Pressure is external, but purpose is internal. Pressure comes from the outside trying to squeeze you into a mold. It tells you to hustle for approval, grind for validation, perform for acceptance. But purpose doesn't require you to perform. It requires you to align. Purpose says you don't have to do everything. You just have to do the right thing. And when you live like that, you don't just survive the day, you own it. That's why you got to say it every morning. Not once, not casually. Say it with conviction. I live on purpose, with purpose, for a purpose. That's not just a motivational line. That's an anchor. That's what keeps you rooted when distractions show up looking attractive. Because purpose will always demand a price. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you convenience. But pressure will cost you your peace. And that's too expensive. Some of us are tired, not because we're doing too much, but because we're doing the wrong things for the wrong reasons. We're chasing goals that don't even belong to us. We're responding to the pressure to prove something to others, to ourselves, to our past. But when you wake up and remind yourself of your purpose, you stop performing and start producing. You stop comparing and start creating. You stop living to impress and start living to impact. Purpose gives you patience in the process. Pressure wants it now. Pressure says you're behind. Pressure says you're not doing enough. But purpose says, stay the course. Build with intention. Grow at your own pace. Pressure will have you jumping from thing to thing, switching strategies every week, doubting your vision because it doesn't look like somebody else's timeline. But purpose keeps you steady. It reminds you that delay is not denial and process is not punishment. Every day, the world is going to offer you pressure. It'll say, hurry up, be more, do more, get more. But every morning, you've got to counter that pressure with purpose. You've got to silence the noise with truth. Look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not moved by pressure. I'm led by purpose. That's how you keep your peace while you pursue greatness. That's how you build something that lasts. You were not created to live in reaction mode. You were not designed to be a responder to emergencies all day long. You were sent here on assignment. You are not random. You are strategic. You are not confused. You are called. And when you walk in purpose, you stop allowing problems to dictate your posture. You show up with authority. You show up with focus. You show up like someone who knows they've been sent, not someone who's just trying to survive. So let the pressure come. Let the demands rise. Let the opinions swirl. But before all of that, remind yourself of this. I live on purpose, with purpose, for a purpose. Let me tell you something that most people don't want to hear first thing in the morning. Discipline is not a feeling. Discipline is not motivation. Discipline is a decision. And it's not just a decision you make once. It's a decision you make daily. Every morning when you wake up, you've got to decide, will I lead my life or will I let life lead me? See, too many people are waiting to feel like doing something great, waiting to feel inspired, waiting to feel ready, waiting for the right conditions, the perfect timing, the stars to align. But the truth is, if you wait on your feelings, you'll wait forever. You'll miss opportunities. You'll waste years. You'll stay stuck in cycles because feelings are fickle, but decisions are foundational. Discipline isn't about doing what you feel like doing. It's about doing what you said you would do long after the feeling that made you say it is gone. It's about waking up and following through on your word, not just to the world, but to yourself. Because if you can't trust your own word, how can your future trust you with more? Every morning, before you check your phone, before you scroll through somebody else's life, you need to remind yourself, I don't wait for motivation. I move with discipline. Motivation is like the wind. It'll blow in and blow out. But discipline is the engine. It's what gets you up when the alarm goes off and your body says 5 more minutes. It's what makes you say no to distractions and yes to development. Discipline keeps building when no one is watching. When no one is applauding, when the results haven't shown up yet, but the vision is still alive. Discipline is how you respect your calling. Discipline is how you honor your gift. You don't honor your potential by talking about it. You honor it by working it. Working when it's boring, working when it's hard, working when it doesn't look like it's working. Because real power is not in what you can do once. It's in what you can do consistently. Anybody can be disciplined for a day, but legacy isn't built in a day. It's built daily. And here's the crazy part. Discipline doesn't take more time. It just gives your time direction. Some of you aren't tired because you're doing too much. You're tired because you're not doing the right things with the right rhythm. Discipline creates rhythm. Discipline gives your energy focus. Discipline removes the chaos and installs order. And where there is order, there is power. Where there is order, there is peace. Where there is order, there is progress. You've got to stop romanticizing procrastination and calling it patience. You're not waiting, you're hesitating. And hesitation is the thief of momentum. But discipline builds momentum. Discipline makes deposits in your future. It makes investments in your next level. So every time you do the hard thing, every time you say no to ease and yes to excellence, you are telling your future, I'm serious, I'm ready, you can trust me with more. Some people will tell you, just go with the flow. But let me ask you something. Where is the flow going? Because most of the time, the flow leads to average. The flow leads to comfort. The flow leads to regret. But discipline swims against the current. Discipline says, I'm not here to fit in. I'm here to stand out. I'm here to dominate. I'm here to build something that outlives me. So when you wake up tomorrow morning and every morning after, you got to decide again, not just once, not just when life is exciting. Every single day, you've got to look yourself in the mirror and say, today, I don't serve my feelings. My feelings serve my future. I don't negotiate with my habits. My habits serve my purpose. Because if you don't command the day will command you. If you don't lead your life with discipline, your life will lead you with default. And default settings will never get you to a destiny of greatness. You were not created for average. You were not designed for mediocrity. You were built for mastery. But mastery doesn't happen through convenience. It happens through commitment. Every single, yeah. So forget waiting on motivation. Don't depend on a spark. Be the fire. Be the force. Be the one who shows up no matter what. And when it gets tough, when it gets lonely, when it feels slow, remind yourself of the truth. I don't wait for motivation. I move with discipline. Let me tell you something. Most people were never taught wealth is not a wish. It's a birthright. It's not some distant dream reserved for the lucky or the chosen few. It's a promise, and it's already wired into your design. But here's the problem. We've been trained to believe that lack is normal. We've been conditioned to think that struggle equals humility and that scarcity somehow makes us more spiritual or more grounded. But I came to disrupt that lie and remind you, you were born to multiply. Every morning, before the emails hit your inbox, before you step into your job, before life starts pulling at you from every direction, you got to look in the mirror and say, money flows to me because value flows from me. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. That's not fantasy. That's faith paired with function. Because wealth doesn't chase the wishful, it follows the valuable. And the value isn't just in what you do, it's in who you are. You are a walking solution. You are sent into this world with answers in your mouth, strategies in your mind, and gifts in your hands. And those gifts, when developed, when deployed, when disciplined, unlock overflow. Wealth is not just about accumulation. Wealth is about assignment. And when you stop seeing money as a need and start seeing it as a tool, everything changes. You stop chasing dollars and start chasing destiny. You stop pursuing paychecks and start building platforms. But let me be clear, poverty is not just about income. It's about identity. It's a mentality that says, this is all I'll ever have. It's a mindset that says, people like me don't get ahead. And that kind of thinking will sabotage you before the world even gets a chance. You can't build a wealthy life with a poverty mouth. You can't talk broke and live blessed. You can't expect increase and speak decrease. Your mouth is either fertilizing your future or poisoning your potential. And that's why you've got to program your mind every single morning before the doubt creeps in, before the fear whispers, before you scroll past another highlight reel that makes you feel behind. You've got to declare, I was born to produce. I was born to prosper. I was born to multiply. And then you go out and act like it. You show up like somebody who expects to win. You move like somebody who knows they belong in boardrooms, not just in break rooms. Wealth is a mindset before it's a measurement. It's a way of thinking that says, I take ownership. It's a way of living that says, if I don't see what I want, I'll build it. People with a wealthy mindset don't wait. They create. They don't complain. They construct. They don't point fingers. They take responsibility. Because wealth doesn't come to the entitled, it comes to the empowered. And listen, this is not just about having more money. This is about breaking generational patterns. This is about building something your children's children can eat from. This is about shifting your entire bloodline. When you understand that wealth is your birthright, you stop living day to day and start planning decade to decade. You think legacy, you think systems, you think ownership. You don't just want to make money, you want to master it, multiply it, and move it with purpose. But you won't do that if you keep waking up with a survival script in your mouth. That's why affirmations matter. That's why declarations matter. You're not just repeating positive words, you're rewiring your brain. You're disrupting the narrative of lack. You're conditioning your spirit to expect abundance. And expectation is everything, because when you expect overflow, you attract opportunities. When you expect increase, you make bold moves. When you expect wealth, you stop settling for wages and start designing wealth strategies. And yes, it will take work. It will take wisdom. It will take discipline, but you already have what it takes. You just need to wake it up. You need to activate it every morning. Speak to it, feed it, align your actions with it. Every day you declare, money flows to me because value flows from me. You remind yourself that you are not chasing riches, you're releasing results. So don't walk through this life hoping something good happens. Walk like you've been sent here to build. Speak like you're a steward of overflow. Move like you're a magnet for multiplication. Don't let poverty have the last word in your story. Look yourself in the eyes and tell the truth that changes everything. Money flows to me because value flows from me.